Welcome to Four Demons. My name is King as always. Today we will be taking a look at the Ninja Turtles Party Wagon. This aired early 1990s from the original cartoon show and the original comic book. This one is not a old school one because you can tell from the clear logo of Nickelodeon, which did not own rights to the Ninja Turtles until after the early 2000s. So, let's get into it and see what we got. Alright, here we have it out of the box. So first off, yes, it indeed does inherit the design for the party wagon, except for a few small things I'd like to point out. One, the paint job, not the best. There's no paint. It's all plastic and stickers. These, for plastic material, very bendable for rubbery. Not the best either. Giant Ninja Turtles on the fin, not my favorite either. Stickers, that's fine. But when you're doing the back door windows, and pretty much any window, let me just do a section here. Yeah, even the back side, they've could have done better. We're in the modern day. Come on, America. What are we doing with ourselves? Now, it does roll. It does have some play value. I will point out they even left out stickers and plastic pieces just for the lights of, well, the party wagon. Antenna comes off. So is that, apparently. Easy to pop off. Which then can represent, like, a Ninja Turtle tank bus, I guess. Again, it does roll. Okay. I would have been happier they stuck to true tradition, but that's just me anyway. Again, these just tab on. They're real simple. Where it does slightly redeem itself in play value is right here for younger kids. I'll admit that. Which is this right here. Is it drops little tiny nuclear looking bombs. I guess you could put a piece of string to the top and the bottom. They are held together by two strings to make a net of some kind. Not sure that's what you want to do. I will now show you the inside of the party wagon. Inside the party wagon, we have nothing but pure yellow. Nothing. Same for the front seat right here. Plain yellow. So my thing is, if you're going to do plain yellow, do plain yellow. Why do we have this flip that is orange? Okay, their door. That's normal. My question is, why did this, every time I open this, have to be controlled by this clip right here? That's right, every time you shut it properly, okay, is a spring clip, my bad. So there's good things and bad things from this. Yes, they're trying to re-imitate the original toy with less effort. They're trying to re-imitate something that's so far gone that there's no more molds probably of, no more history, but you can still get your hands on an original version of this and spot the differences. And might I even say go further than design value has gone for this one. For kids though, I would rate this out of a 1 to 10. I would rate this a solid 8. There is play value. If it came with the figures, it would be a 10 automatically. If it came with at least one turtle and a foot soldier, easy 10 still, but it don't. When you get something like this and it's a play set or a complete, basically, toy marketing gimmick, it's a good idea if it says turtles on it to include the turtles. Literally. I also want to prove out something here, which is funny to me, is if you look at these right here, you notice they're missing something from the box art. Right here. There's no sticker. There's no white paint. They don't even come to that point. So, not only that, they're showing stuff that should actually be incorporated. I'd also like to know, how are you going to get an turtle set here without bouncing its head off inside of it when that thing screen locks open? That's a very good question. And also notice the windows, you can see through those. You cannot see through these. But not to nitpick too much about a good, well, idea, we'll say. As far as concept, it's somewhat functional. As far as play value, it works. As far as collector value, no, not that good. You could probably find better from a third-in party. These typically can be found on, well, last time I checked, can be typically found at your local Walmart, for crying out loud. So it's not something like you're going to go to the store and find a billion of. But again, we're seeing how it is portrayed compared to old school toys, which are a whole different level of awesomeness nowadays. Considering they're not made the same, they don't work the same, the gimmicks are gone, and industries want to make a buck for nothing. So would I recommend buying this? Yes. If you guys to spare change, you want something to put on a shelf that looks like the Turtles, go for it. But remember, looks can deceive when you get close. And this is one such item.